Hello, everyone, and welcome to the You Don't Have to Be Right podcast, where you don't have to be right, but you definitely can be wrong. I couldn't help myself with that
We're
one.
never right.
Yeah, we're never gonna get this intro right at all.
God, no.
So Joe, I think our episode 1 set the stage a little bit, set the bar a little high for us. Actually, it's slightly a couple inches off the ground.
Yeah, no, yeah, it didn't. The only bar that we set is that people didn't think we were going to do this, and then we said, fuck you, here we are. And now we have to double down on that, and, well, welcome to it.
Yep. Well, and I don't know for you, but the goal for me is to at least bring our self-promotion
You
down
have
to
a
about
goal?
50%. Yeah, to bring our fake self-promotion promos down to about 50% of the episode
gotcha,
instead of
okay.
70. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah. Well, it all started when
No,
we need
we're
to talk
not.
about. No, damn it! All
We're
right,
not
well,
doing that. We're not doing that. No,
I'll
it's not
cross
gonna
that
happen.
off my list.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go.
We actually, I don't know about you, but we actually we have a whole writers room in this Discord that no one can see but us. And we actually I don't know about you, but I put stuff in my channel that I want to talk about and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I did too. I absolutely did.
And you know what? I should be even more proud of me is I didn't look at your channel.
Wow.
I know.
I didn't
my
look at your channel because it
nosiness.
was grayed out. So
Yep,
I was
same,
like,
same.
whatever. So, all
I
right. Well,
really
I'm gonna
wanted
let
to,
you
though.
go. I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, I'm gonna go first.
You start the show
terrible
off,
human
baby.
being. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, Joe, is I went to a concert on Wednesday.
How
Wednesday.
was the concert? I don't really
want to talk about the.
Oh,
I don't want to talk about the concert. Really, concert was great. Music was great.
Good.
Everything
It
was fine. But there's an aspect of the concert that I didn't see that I don't think, and I don't know this because I live in Washington. Is the Washington flannel. This was like a rock metal concert, and there was like people wearing black and like the standard metalhead kind of thing. But then probably poked around and bunched. There was the Washington flannel, and it was just men wearing plaid everywhere and like looking like lumberjacks. And I was like, this can't be a thing anywhere else, and it's not. I think that is a brilliant point of things people have been wrong with. Washington, don't wear flannel to a metal concert. It just feels weird.
Well, no. So, okay. So flannel. Wow, that was a word. Flannel. If I think flannel and like ripped up jeans, I think grunge. I'm thinking grunge scene in which started in Seattle, funnily enough. But like I'm thinking grunge rock when I'm thinking that. Was it a grunge rock band?
Well, no. So it's Polythea, which is
okay. No, it was not grunge rock.
They never spoke into the mic even. They just played guitars.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're very much a alt metal kind of band, and it was so funny to see like these dudes with like mascara on and stuff, and then this just normal looking people wearing a flannel, and the worst part was the person who brought me there was also one of those people.
Look, flannel is wonderful. I enjoy a good flannel. I have one of my regular jackets is a flannel, and I like flannel. So I would wear flannel to. I'm trying to go to Foo Fighters in August, and I will wear flannel to that as a statement.
Well, that's fine, I guess. I don't know. Just maybe it's my anxiety from like going out and stuff that made me think that flannel was weird, right? Like,
I mean,
sure.
Like,
maybe because like my 13-year-old wanting to be an emo kid self wanted to be the guy wearing the black mascara and just couldn't be.
I mean, you could be.
No, there's some memes images on the internet, Jodo, that I would become if I was.
You just need a little fedora and you'd be good.
No,
okay.
Fuck you.
All right. Well, I have a fedora, but I have an actual fedora.
Yeah, but you have an actual full brimmed fedora.
No,
you're thinking of
the
lady.
Yeah.
Like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that reminds me of the fucking what was it? What was the hat store that was in Seattle for the longest time?
Oh yeah, the really good hat store
like
that
Burn and Hoots or some weird. Yeah, dude,
yeah.
I have like 2 hats from that place.
I think it's Bernard's.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah, it's probably gone because of COVID.
No, it was gone before COVID.
Oh, was
it forced out? Yeah, they had this tiny shop, and I think some sort of cell phone store took its place or something. And I was like, this is lame. It was such a cool store, and it's just gone.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Why are we talking about I'm sorry.
I mean, hats are great. I love hats.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the tone of this episode is different than the first tone of the first time.
Of course it's going to be. The first episode, we were so punch drunk, we didn't know what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's why we were talking. That's why it's like, it all started.
Yeah, it all started on stream,
Yeah. That's why we kept doing that over and over.
Well, yeah, because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We just wanted to show people, yeah, fuck you. We do things. Look at us.
Do we know what we're doing now?
No.
Okay, we're gonna learn.
You think you know what you're doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm talking into a microphone and pretending like I know what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
And I'm trying not to talk too loud because I was doubling into your mic on Discord, and I'm just trying really hard not to do that.
Well, I wasn't doing it in OBS, so.
Oh, perfect. That's all we care about.
Excuse me.
Fuck you, live listeners.
Wow. Okay. Well. Yeah, and that's a cool thing. You want to talk about how we have live listeners?
Yeah, we do. Every Tuesday in the Discord. Is there a way to post or Discord link in the Spotify? I guess I'll have to find it on the YouTube channel.
On the YouTubes.
You can join our Discord and listen live to this nonsense, and all that stuff. I think I'm gonna be the one that's gonna head up shorts creation for this thing, for if we have any funny moments at all. So probably not for this podcast, but
no, probably just not. Period. We're not funny.
Yeah. It's just so you know, it's only been 6 minutes and we've gone to self promotion, so I think we're gonna be at the good smooth 50% here, just barely scrape under it.
Wow.
But no, this is more of a telling people what we're planning. We are planning to do this podcast. We are planning. I haven't really talked to Joe, but I don't think I have to. I'm gonna start setting up some shorts because I feel like one of the things I see on YouTube Shorts all the time is like weird clips from people's podcasts. It's like a very shortable thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna put this on Spotify. We're putting it on YouTube. We're gonna try to get iTunes set up here eventually. I think that might be my goal today.
Okay.
Tomorrow. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Anyway,
iTunes is harder to get on because you have to have some vetting or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway, so you don't think that flannel should be worn at concerts? Is that what you're trying to get at?
No, I think flannel's fine because, like, I guess you're right with Seattle being grungy and stuff, but like,
yeah, it's the grunge rock, man.
I felt like it was hipster flannel. Like, not so much for the person that brought me there. The person that brought me there is definitely like from that scene, but like there were people wearing very nice. Like, this is like maybe the second time they've ever worn this shirt, flannel, and like jeans. Like, I'm like, you're not grunge.
I bought this specifically to go out to concerts in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not grunge. Grunge is like the like your flannel has been worn for 30 years and you picked it up at a thrift shop because you're like, yeah, this will help me mosh in the mosh pit.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be stuff like that. So
I will say though, Polythema isn't a very mosh pitable band either. They're close. There was a couple times where it happened towards the end with the very popular songs, but down the Showbox being just a like it's just a box. Right.
Yeah.
It's general admission and all that, but it really wasn't that, like, they're very much like a very melody focused rock metal band.
Right.
Like, there's 4 of them, and so rocking out to it and like moshing to it is an interesting concept. But like I said, I haven't been to a concert. I don't think it's this. I haven't been to a concert in like 10 years. So
it's like trying to mosh to Foo Fighters. Well, I bet you can mosh to Foo Fighters.
You could mosh to Foo Fighters, but I don't know. It was a good time though.
Don't get me wrong. Trans-Siberian Orchestra or something,
but a good time.
I mean, did you not bring? Yeah.
No, I didn't bring earplugs. I couldn't find any.
Oh, that's really crap. Did the friend not have any?
AP did not have any. We can call him AP here because we're on the internet, but
yeah,
we don't know. We don't know if he wants us to say his
first
name.
Absolutely not. Anyway, so I have a topic that I was thinking about because I run into this unfortunately on a daily basis. I want to know how many people actually genuinely think about their household appliances needing maintenance. I'm talking refrigerators, I'm talking your oven, your washing machine, your dryer, dishwasher, any type of household appliance you use on a daily, regular basis. Who genuinely can say that they do maintenance, like upkeep and maintenance and cleaning on these devices? It's a thing that I personally will say that, growing up as a kid, obviously you don't really care or you think about it, but going through and having a house or having an apartment, you start to think more and more about it. Now, I will say that until I started the job that I'm in, I didn't actually think about it too terribly much. But
hey, I'm an old man, Jodo. Sorry, carry on.
Okay. But going through other people's appliances, there's a lot of stuff that's like preventative maintenance that could prevent them from having to replace certain parts, such as I got AFresh tablets, AFFRESH, AFresh tablets for both the washer and the dishwasher, and doing that once a month blows out all the scum and lime buildup that they accrue over the wash cycles. It's just interesting that people think about cars, people think about houses, but like, who genuinely thinks about the appliances needing maintenance? I mean,
I can tell you, at least from my experience, my parents and my family, when I grew up, didn't do any maintenance on anything until it broke.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I knew, like, my dad would like change a belt on like a washing machine or something when it broke or something, but would never like actually do any preventative stuff. The first time I started thinking about it was probably when I got in the whole tear about dishwasher tablets.
Yeah.
When I watched that was the first time I watched a Technology Connection YouTube video, which is a gentleman who does a very deep dive into random tech, like a lot of times antique tech, and he was going all about dishwashers and about like how like half the time your dishwasher being dirty or like you're using tablets, and like that was when I first started thinking about it. And then probably on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, the dude who like, I don't know if you've seen the dude who like buys, like he's I'm pretty sure he's like an ex-convict who like served his time and got out and started his own business, because that's like what you have to survive. That's a whole narrative, different topic.
Mm-hmm.
But he started he started grabbing washers and dryers off the streets and just servicing them and doing it. He kept talking about those tablets you're using, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And then I don't know. I guess that was it. But before, and then you came and like tore apart our dryer that one time when you were like had some time at work to do it, and I was like, wow, people should really be doing this.
Yeah, it's you get a lot of, I mean, it may not look like it from the outside, but there's a lot of lint that builds up, and those rollers that the dryer that we have, if you don't oil them, they blow out, and that's just something that happens because they're just basically skateboard wheels.
Our target audience, by the way, just like went up to like 40. Like we lost anyone who was under 17 stopped listening.
We had a target audience.
Yeah, there's about, hold on, how many people are in this Discord? Like 14 or something like that. That's our target audience, and I just think about half of them tuned out during the middle of the
conversation. No one's listening.
Are really interested though.
Yeah,
no one's interested.
No one's listening to this, so it's fine.
Tall's offended probably because that Tall and who else? Schism and Tall, they're probably interested. That's probabably fine.
No, it's just something that
I descale your Keurig.
Oh, okay.
That's a Keurig.
It's just okay. It's just something that I had thought about, and I was like, yeah, I don't think before really I don't think before really doing this job I was really in the mindset of like, oh, I gotta look at all my appliances and make sure that they're running appropriately. It's just a weird thing. And then when you think about it, it's like, that makes perfect sense. You run your dishwasher as much as you run your car,
Well, especially when you live in a house with 6 people.
Well, that's beside the point.
I try my best to not use that dishwasher, that washing machine, I only wash my clothes once a week.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's a weird flex, bro.
I'm sorry, my brain just spoke before. I'm like, why did I even say that?
Is that why you stink?
Yeah, no, okay. That's because I hate showering.
Oh yeah, you want to conserve the showers.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. No, that makes sense.
The upstairs showers are built like the downstairs showers. I better.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my gosh. I guess we should talk about that's something to talk about. So we had a maintenance come in because the downstairs shower that Hellboy and his girlfriend use, our roommate, like has a window in it, and it's really weird. And so they had some obvious mold on the shelf of the window and stuff like that, and called maintenance because we're renting this house. And they came out, and the dude who got here was the most upset I think anyone's ever been about like an install of a bathtub. Like they were pretty sure the whole wall was rotted, and like he was looking at it because the person had taken an install and just put a seam under the window because they'd like split this bathroom install in half, and so that's why like all the soap dispenser pockets were in the wrong place and stuff, and that were part of this install, and it was just awful. And my the number one thing I thought is they didn't use the right caulking on. We're still once again still serving the 30 to 40-year-olds. Like,
oh, we're absolutely.
And like the caulking was completely wrong, and I started to realize after that moment that this house was definitely flipped. This is a house flipper that did this house, and I think there's a lot of shit wrong with it.
Yeah, no, there is. I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad.
The floor above the fireplace upstairs is
someone's going to fall through that someday.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a picture of it and post it somewhere.
And then the vent that they'll inevitably fly through when they...
Yeah, that's what you're going to punch out. It's just, I don't even think there's subfloor under that carpet where that vent is.
No, I think it's just subfloor. I don't think there's a joist.
I don't even think there's subfloor there. I think there's like the pad you put carpets on, because you can like literally step and like spin the carpet there. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. America.
If I don't talk about this, then I'm going to not talk about it for the episode. Okay. So.
Okay.
All right. When you go into a picture yourself as a we're taking a hard shift going back down to the 17 and older. I'm
happy.
Yeah, so picture yourself.
I am.
You are someone who has been playing Warhammer for a while.
No, I'm not, but okay.
Just pictures. It's just look.
Okay.
Look here.
Listen
love
here. Rulers and miniatures. Got it. Okay, go ahead.
You decide that in this new the 10th edition just came out. Well, it did not now, but at the time that this happened, 10th edition had just come out, and some of the strongest armies were some of the how do we say fudgiest, where you just do weird random shit and you win. One of those armies is Eldar, which is like space elves basically for Warhammer 40K. And you go to a tournament and you go, man, I could really use a win under my belt. This gentleman went to an official Warhammer tournament. So this is not like a mom and pop game store tournament. This is a GW official tournament that
Game Workshop.
Game
company with no grievances, nothing wrong with them.
With no chill, let's say. The Games Workshop's putting on this tournament. It's like LVO. I went to LVO, massive tournament. I don't know if it was that massive, but it was a pretty big tournament. So this guy goes there playing one of the best armies, I think at the time the best army you could because of the fudgy stuff you can do. And so he starts playing this tournament, and he's just winning and winning and winning. And what's happening every time Eldar start the game, they get to roll dice at the beginning of every turn, and basically they get to reserve those dice for later in the game. So if I roll a whole bunch of 6s or a whole bunch of 5s or 4s,
so it's a race that's basically a divination wizard.
Pretty much, yeah. But if I roll certain dice in the middle of a game, if I roll to shoot and I don't succeed, I can be like, oh, I'm going to take my 6 here and I'm going to succeed this roll. Or, my shock test. Yeah, exactly. So this gentleman was just rolling. He was rolling hot. He was rolling 6s for all those rolls. He was rolling 6s for all his, to start the round. Like, first player starts round, you roll a dice, and you must go if you win.
This guy's got loaded dice, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, so the guy that he was playing, he's going, I don't like those dice. I don't like those dice at all. And the guy's like, what? No. And then he pulls out a die and rolls a 1. He's like, see, it's fine. I rolled a 1. And so he's like, no. Give me those dice. I need to see those dice. So he calls over a judge, and the guy starts going off, going like, how could you question my honor? It's just a game, blah, 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 blah.
That's some innocent.
Oh, no, innocent right there. Yeah. So he starts going on the defensive path of like, how could you believe that I'm the problem here? And so the judge goes, well, rolling a dice 10 times is not really going to tell you much. What if I roll all 6s on a regular dice? The real way to tell if a dice is loaded is a saltwater bath. So the guy who he was playing went down to the shop and was like, no, I'll go buy some salt water. I'll go buy some salt. I'll be right back. So he's headed out to do that. The guy who is cheating, he was like, oh, you know what? How about I just take the loss? Because I don't, this is bullshit. You're thinking that I'm cheating. Yeah. So he's like, what if I just withdraw from this? Then you get the win and you call it good. And the guy's like, nope. And so he heads out to the shop. This guy somehow excuses himself from the hall, and he goes out to the bathroom and comes back. And then the guy comes back with the salt water, and he's like, all right, let's test your dice.
I don't know what my dice went.
Exactly. He goes, I don't know what dice you're talking about, man. Well, unfortunately for him, the guy next to him who was playing decided that he needed to go to the bathroom too. So he went to the bathroom and and found 2 loaded dice sitting in the bottom of a toilet. Yeah. Yeah, the guy tried to flush 2 loaded dice that I think he loaded them with lead because they just sat at the bottom of the toilet and wouldn't flush. So he, yeah, it's just, I would like to, like, I never condone cheating of any nature. No cheating. Like, you're playing a goddamn game. Why are you cheating? Go play the game, you fool. You're playing one of the scummiest armies at the time because you can just win. Your win rate was above 65%. You don't need any help, you prick. So
you sound really upset.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's just like, come on. So, and above all else, you have the audacity to believe that going to the toilet and disposing of your dice is going to stop people from thinking you've cheated. There was another instance of a guy who was cheating with loaded dice, but he had the wherewithal of just sneaking out of the hall, giving them to some random kid, and coming back in and saying, "Good luck finding your dice. I'll take the L on this game, but you can't prove that I cheated." Like, at least he tried. Like, I don't condone cheating, but like, fucking, like, flushing him down a toilet, you fool.
Meanwhile, that kid is just like, I'm so good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that kid's like, I am a god. Yeah, no, exactly. But it's just like, you're playing, you're in the middle of your 40s. You're playing a miniature plastic tabletop game. Sure, there's a prize on the line. It's probably a kit or something that's probably worth $500. But it's like, come on, man. You're already playing the scummiest army that you can. Why are you cheating as well? Why do you decide that the thing to do is, oh, I'm going to win this tournament by cheating? It's just
well, it's like, I mean, I played Magic, right? And card marking is such a problem together. And it's just like, especially when you play the deck forever, you start to notice cards that have blemishes, which is why I changed out my sleeves so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I don't get it, the need to win. Like, I'm sure, maybe I'm gonna be wrong about this, but I feel like it's like some validation need that people have, where it's like their life is going to shit or something, and they need to be validated by like being good at this game, no matter what means, right? Because at least then, no matter what happens, they're validated. They feel good. They have it, like, because like, people do it in any sort of skill or luck based thing. Cheating happens. It's just kind of wild that it's like, how does, like, I don't know, like, I just don't understand how you like figure out that, oh, I'm just gonna cheat here and no one's gonna care and I'm gonna be cool and everyone's gonna think I'm great. And it's just like, it's something in your, like, there's some therapy that's needed there.
Yeah,
usually,
yeah, It's something that baffles me, just because it's like, come on, man, we're playing a game. Like, there are people who are still high schoolers that are playing this game. There are people who are brought here by their parents to play this game. You know, LVO, I got to see a father-son team, because, you know, in LVO you could team up, and it was a couple of orc players, and the kid was 6. Like, come on, like, you're going to cheat a 6-year-old out of potentially winning? Yeah, okay.
They gotta learn life's hard now.
Jesus, okay. Life's hard enough without you beating their skull in with dice that are loaded.
Dude, as a DM who has a lot of dice, like just a lot of cheap dice, I would hate to have loaded dice. I would hate to ruin the game of chance that I play. That's like,
I would too.
I would hate it. It
Speaking
would just be like,
yeah.
What?
Speaking of dice, what type of dice do you like? What type of like material dice do you like?
You know, I haven't quite gotten into that yet. Because I've been DMing, right? It's like you don't when you start DMing, you don't spend your money on dice. You spend it on books and like subscriptions to things, and so like I haven't gotten into the dice aspect of it, especially now that I'm going virtual. That's just like, dice don't really exist anymore. Because
I mean, yes and no. I still we do our Delta Green on the Reroll podcast. We do our Delta Green virtual, and I'll say I still roll physical dice. There's nothing that I like better in a tabletop RPG or a game that has dice than rolling the physical dice. And it's I don't know why. It's just because you can pick them up, you get to shake them, you get to roll them, and it feels like you're actually involved with the fate of it.
Yeah, I guess, and then I don't know. I was thinking about, because I've never done an online campaign. I was thinking about trying to have all my characters have, like, all my players to get just at least a D20. So when they do death saves, they can do it. They can do it on on an actual dice, because that's a little more terrifying.
It is. It is quite terrifying, because it's not, oh, that stupid computer. It's fuck. I rolled this.
But I did this to me. I literally don't think Erber owns any dice. So
well, you can change that.
Yeah, I know.
I personally like resin dice are fine. I mean, Wormwood did a very good job, very good press release of
I saw that. That's
some
nice.
resin dice. I want to get some precious stone dice, so like Raised Obsidian or Targazai.
I'm over here, Jodo. I'm your precious stone.
I just hate
the silence happening.
Yeah, you created that. I want you to know. I want you to know that you created that.
Precious stone.
I am going to elongate that silence in post.
You know,
just for you.
I'm glad that it took about 30 minutes for us to start really hammering on each other.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, we had a normal podcast for like 30 minutes, and then I just came out with, "I'm your precious little stone."
And now it's just going to be
this
insults
really shows
back and
we
forth.
We need to have a pre-show that's about 30 minutes long.
Wow.
And then you get into the real hot mess.
The real shit show starts.
Anyway, I derailed everything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. What's the next topic there, bud?
Oh, okay. I got one that will really make you hate me. No one can hear it, but I heard the biggest sip of his cup.
Yep.
Ever. Because we're in the same room.
Yep.
My next one will make me really upset. So you know how anniversaries are important and stuff like that. Like, you got married, getting together with.
The fuck did you forget?
Me and Riz both forgot our anniversary. Not by like a day or two, but like probably October 13th or something. We remembered it, and our anniversary is September 27th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
What the? I mean, well,
at least we both forgot. Can you imagine if like this whole time I had forgotten and like Riz is just holding it in, like, he's never gonna remember.
Oh my god,
this motherfucker.
This motherfucker over here.
Yeah, but luckily we both forgot.
I mean, I guess that's lucky.
In the premise of a relationship, though, we both assumed this was going to happen, because The reason.
Oh God.
Oh.
Why? Why you do this to me,
Where's
phone?
the fire, bud?
I don't know.
No fire. When me and Riz started our relationship, we pinned our birthdays and stuff into our
Right.
DMs. Totally forgot that one.
I mean, let's be honest. So our anniversaries are shared between two people, and if people don't share anniversaries, it's fine. It's not like you're gonna get. It's not like the FBI are gonna come kick down the door because you didn't share an anniversary.
I mean, maybe.
Who knows? Yeah, call them. Call the anniversary police.
Our Riz may be in the room as I'm speaking, so I'm like ready to get hit the whole time. She's such a aggressive person.
Maybe that's why you blocked out the anniversary, because you're.
Oh yeah, I blocked it out because she's so terrible to me.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds.
She's giving me a look right now.
Mm-hmm.
For full disclosure, for anyone who listens to this at any time, because will be on the internet forever, Riz is a wonderful human being that puts up with a lot of my shit.
Blink twice if you need help. Oh,
I think he wanted me to. I think.
Oh no!
I think this time about me
no!
blinking,
We found the gaslighter. It's you. She screamed, "Help me!"
It's not Friday.
Okay. All right. Well,
so many inside jokes just flew by there. There's gonna be people who are like, "What?" We're gonna have to explain whenever like some gaslighting thing happens why I say it's not Friday at some point. I don't know if we're gonna do that right now.
I don't like that. Oh, I want to drink more coffee.
And you did wake up like a half an hour before this podcast. That's your fault, bud.
No, I was lying in bed just hanging out.
Okay.
I was having a good time.
Yeah, I woke up and hit the road and just did stuff this morning because I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, you know what? More power to it.
That's what it is. I'm
insane. Anyway, so yeah, anniversaries anniversaries can also be a little muddled, can't they?
Muddled.
Oh yeah, like, did we start dating this day? No. Did we start dating this day? No. Muddled.
Oh, you see, this is also a difference between normal relationships, I guess. I mean, Riz is about like a month after it. We had to make so what day did we start dating? Because there was probably about a 3-day question there.
I have a coin.
You have a coin?
Yeah, the day that we started dating was the day I did the Columbia stair climb. So.
Oh, that's right.
I have a coin.
Yeah, but there was like 6 months of hell before that for you, so.
6 months.
Well,
probably a year.
Yeah, a year. I guess a year of.
And try 8 years before that.
Well, that was actual hell. That's
that's
a different podcast. That's a post show.
That's the we knew we were wrong podcast.
I wonder if that's our post show. Our post show is like filling in the gaps of things we don't talk about on the podcast.
Oh, you'd find that on Patreon, would you?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to plug anything, but
you've done this.
I was literally just trying to give more ideas.
You did this.
Yes, find our post show on either live on the Discord.
God no.
Or
abandon all hope.
Patreon.com/ you don't need to be.
That's all.
No, I don't know. It's an idea. Look, so
no, it's a good idea.
People don't.
Put it
I
in
don't
the
think
idea
people
thing.
understand. Okay, well, hold on.
I'm gonna vamp while you do that. So, no, I mean, anniversaries are important, but I know people who I will ask their anniversary and they go, "Oh, I don't know. We started dating at some point, or we got marriage." Kind of a different thing. You have a piece of paper that notates like, "Hey, I got married this day." I have people who celebrate their divorce date. Both parties. They get together and they have a dinner because they're just good friends now. Like
that baffles me.
What?
I don't know.
It baffles. I thought you said that was me, and I was like, "You've been divorced?"
No, yes.
Oh dear God.
Times.
Yeah, I'm working on my 6th.
Yep,
future ex-wife.
Yep, that's Riz, future ex-wife.
Jesus Christ. I see.
I'm just getting married to a divorce. That's all. And we're not even officially trying to get married yet, but it's gonna happen. She literally just said, "Marry me, bitch," and I'm scared now.
No, good luck.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this is.
I'm in trouble. It's all over, man.
Yeah, it's all over. Yeah. That's how it's going down.
We're
Why don't
hosed.
you pick a topic now? I've done a lot of topics.
What are you talking about? I've literally.
Oh shit, we just did your topics. All right.
Well, I got another one.
I'll shoehorn.
You want me to
No.
do the heavy list?
Okay. All right. I'll shoehorn another one I've got written down into that. So my friend just got married.
Yes, I know this. Wait, multiple? No. Oh no. Now I know who you're talking about. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. You need a minute over there.
Nope. Good. Got it. Thank you.
So he just got married, and he and his now wife have decided that they're not keeping either last name.
They're getting a new last name.
They're getting a new last name. It is a trend.
Trading out the old last names for a new one. That's actually, you know what? I'm cool with that. That's cool.
It's a trend that is interesting. Like not in a bad way. Like it's genuinely interesting to me, where the parties involved go, you know what? We're not
Fuck
into
both our
this.
parents.
Exactly. We're not into this. Let's get a new last name, and they genuinely do. It's so they either combine the last names or go completely like just a new one. So
I mean, I want to know what the last name is now, but obviously you can't tell me on this podcast.
No, and I don't even remember it.
That's cool though. I mean,
yeah, it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea for people who don't necessarily want to keep a last name, people who don't necessarily want to continue on, like if you have bad family ties or something along those lines. It's an interesting concept. So,
or if someone like doxes you on a podcast and you need to quickly change your last name.
I solved that.
I know you did. I saw that.
I still got the original recording.
Oh, good. Well, I
put that on Tumblr.
Oh, good. Well, no one watched that.
That's true. No, God no.
Sick. We're on Tumblr, bro. Tumbling through Tumblr.
Okay.
Sorry.
No.
I just aged.
Never.
Like anyone who knew what I was doing.
Oh God, I feel old. Hey.
That was wasn't that like a Vlogbrothers thing for like with a bunch of people?
It was the time where you were trying to do your walking vlog.
Oh man, that's not say the title of that YouTube video channel because I don't have control over it anymore or have any idea how to get there. And I'm pretty sure I doxed my parents in that. So I will eventually someday, if I ever get any actual internet presence, DMCA my own channel.
I mean, that's honestly the wise thing to do.
I don't really care. I mean, the only person who's ever successfully found what it was Zombaby, because Zombaby deep dived my Twitter feed one time for me. Like I was talking about like how I should go through my Twitter feed. I think Zom just kind of did it out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
And found like all my tweets that referred to it, and I went and deleted them all.
Don't worry, I've got an embarrassing channel.
Oh, I know you do. Yeah. You got yours is live and still there though. It's
and it's not even my Commander Jodo one,
man.
I will absolutely slap the shit out of you. Absolutely unbarred, open. I'll even close my fist for you, sir.
The thing is, like, if you didn't react to that, no one would know at all that what I'm trying to say.
You know what?
I really like that video though.
I'm so glad you do.
So okay, I'll explain. I won't explain the title. I won't tell
sure,
you
go right ahead.
For high school video, like was it video like editing?
Yeah, it was
like that?
Yeah.
You guys did a parody of, I don't know what the actual movie's called, so I won't say it, but did a parody of a
Day
movie.
After Tomorrow.
Yeah, parody of The Day After Tomorrow. That's honestly very funny. Very, very well done.
It was an acid trip and a half. That's all I can describe it as.
It also, like, you have, like, your on your Twitch stream, your punch sound for when people follow, and then that's one of the videos you did with
that's a different video.
So
yeah, that's a different video,
but it's like the same crew that did it.
Excuse me. The video in question, it just the brief was make at least a 10-minute video. The brief was 10 minutes.
That was definitely a longer than 10-minute video, if I remember right.
we before editing, we had 6 hours of footage.
That's
before
amazing.
editing, we took a week to make this absolute garbage fire. And
it's all your parents' house.
No, it's more than the parents. We actually went to locations. we oh god, it's a 48-minute fiasco.
I know it was one of the teacher's favorite one of his
I don't know why.
Videos.
I don't know why.
When you are not in it, it's actually hilarious.
Yeah, probably.
It's very funny, and it's just like the acting is bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
But that's
garbage.
It's got a charm to it because of that.
Is it a charm, or is it like, oh god, what am I watching?
It smells, but there's no flies.
Oh, okay. That's how it is. It smells, but it's no flies. Jesus Christ.
So it's palatable.
The references that we made that no one understood. No one understood 3/4 of the movie references we made. And oh my god. I just every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, we did that.
At least you don't have choir videos out there that you don't everyone I tell people I was in a jazz choir in college, but I don't tell them the name of the choir or what because I don't want them to find those recordings because it's just super embarrassing to me for some reason. And even though I sound fine in them, but it's just you won't even recognize me, I guess, now because that was the one time I was skinny, but
you'll get there again.
Oh yeah.
We're all working on it, aren't we?
We're all working on it, Conrad. It's I'm actually, that's an interesting segue. I realized that I'm treating my weight loss like I'm trying to quit a drug now. And it's been an interesting mind flip for me because I used to vape, so I used to have a nicotine addiction, and I quit that. So it's a interesting an interesting change to think that. So first of all, all I did was I did it in steps like I did when I quit vaping, where what you do is you bring down the amount of nicotine you're having, because in vaping it's all very measured and very you know exactly how much nicotine you have in your vape and all this stuff, and you know how much you have per drop per hit and all that. So I brought it down to 0, then I put a fake one in. So right now I had to eliminate sugar because my diabetes was out of control. So we brought it down to 0, and right now we're on all the fake sugar. So we're on the replacers. We're on the dude, I don't know about you, but keto ice cream, it's not ice cream. It does not give me the happy head effects when I eat keto ice cream.
Happy head effects?
I don't know. You don't get a sugar hit or anything like that. I sound like a drug addict. What ice cream?
Yeah. Well, what brand of ice cream are you getting?
I'm getting the Rebel stuff. I mean, it's not bad. It tastes fine, but there's no I think I literally have had because I've probably been diabetic for so long. I've had high blood sugar that I feel my blood sugar raise, and I don't get that because I don't get a.
Well, it's because it's made with sugar alcohol, which just goes through your system.
Yeah, and so it's just it feels really, and that's kind of where I got the and I also think it's because I am an emotional eater, right? So if I'm
I feel that.
If I'm bored or sad, I'll eat. So a lot of times, the only reason we're getting fake keto ice cream is because we're not we're a little upset or we're really craving, and so it just doesn't help at all. And it's kind of I got to that point with vaping where I was the fake vape was oh, it tastes like strawberries. Oh yeah, it's to they're it'll help with the mouth thing. No, it didn't help at all. Just get rid of it, because and I think I'm at that point now where I'm I don't know if Riz is at that point, which is why I'm kind of waiting, where I'm just we need to just do we need to get to the next step of actually now we've cut stuff. We need to start cutting calories. I need to start paying attention to macros and whatever the heck all the healthy people do, because I'm old, and I'm not old, but I'm at the point where when you've been heavy your whole life, and I'm blessed as I haven't yet, major health things are coming, next year or next week. It could be anything like that, right? I could have another thing where I'm suddenly feeling like shit and have to go to the ER, and I don't know why. you know, because I got a lot of extra space in here for shit to grow. That's not right. That's not how that works, but you know,
well,
that's how it is.
I mean, ultimately, we just need to, how do you say, live a better, healthier, more holistic lifestyle. And
well, I think as a house we're starting to.
We are. I mean, look at when we first moved into now. We have developed in a positive trend. I mean, I'm not saying that we haven't, but I mean, ultimately, getting to the point where you don't need to titrate your sugar. You just can go, okay, if I have X, Y, and Z, that means A, B, and C has to happen. You know, getting to that type of weight.
There's some of that.
Yeah. So.
But I don't know. That's gonna be a while for me.
It's gonna be a while for me too. I mean, trust me.
Not all of us can be like people who are like, I need to lose like 20 pounds and be fine. It's more like I need to lose a fucking person.
Yeah. No,
like I need a person's worth of weight to leave my body.
Yep.
And it's annoying.
Yeah. No, I feel you there. I feel you.
I've done it before.
You have, and it was very successful, and the transformation was impressive, and you hated every step of it because it sucks.
Kathy Auscall Anti-Inflammatory Diet, which is what I was on, or To Quiet Inflammation, I believe is the book that she does now, is a great diet to figure out what you're inflamed by. Like what does your body not like? It's a really great way to find out if you have a slight. Do I have an irritation to cheese? Do I have an irritation to wheat? Do I not like I'm pretty sure I still have a slight agitation to corn products because of that. Which also is an interesting thing. Switching to pretty much alcohol, sugar, and all that stuff gets rid of all corn byproduct because there's no corn syrup and anything like that anymore. It's very interesting. Some alcohol sugars I think are based in corn, but most of them are based in like monk fruit byproduct or something.
Yeah.
But it gets rid of a lot of that. So that's an interesting thing. It's a great diet for that. But the moment, and I think keto suffers from this a little too. The moment you transition out of the diet to a more lifestyle thing, you're just gonna go insane. You're gonna start losing again. So that's whatever.
I mean, it's
neither of us do nutritionists, by the way, but luckily on this podcast you don't have to be.
No. God, no. Dear God, man, we're not anything. I don't even know where I am.
Was that words?
Nope.
All I heard was
Yoy. Oh,
God. Lamish.
No, that's why it's Simish.
Now we have to do an entire podcast in Simish.
No.
Why not?
I will be absent.
No, you can't be.
I will be absent.
How?
Just won't be here. I'll be sick that day.
Just an hour long podcast of me just going, it's something happening, and then Patabana and Ebony Badubga.
Yep. I'm sick that day. I'm sorry.
You're sick?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sick. I'm sick that day.
Skip it up.
Yeah. So I was
culturally insensitive to someone there. I
have a segue.
Oh
no, I really don't.
Have you fallen off of it?
Have I fallen? Do you need assistance? Well, I have another topic. I have a lot of topics.
I had 3, so I got 1 left at the tank.
Oh boy,
so you know.
Well,
that's a spicy one. That's not at all.
Oh well, that's boring. Favorite weather and season.
Am I becoming a ranger in D&D? I get to pick my favorite terrain.
Yeah, go ahead. If you were,
carpet. Oh wait, no.
Carpet. Yeah, any enemy on carpet.
any enemy that I don't have to get out of my desk from. Any terrain that.
So they have to come to you.
Yeah, pretty much. And indoors is my favorite weather.
I see.
Yeah, you're starting to understand a theme of my life here. For the audience who can't hear on Discord, he's once again taking another big sip of his cup of coffee. Because apparently I do that to you.
Uh-huh.
You just gotta wake up a little bit earlier when you're
Look,
talking
I
to me,
mean,
you
do
know?
you like hot weather? Do you like cold weather?
Okay, I'll be honest. I I've been big my entire life. I like cold weather.
I
Hot weather
love
is
cold weather.
awful.
Cold
Now,
weather is wonderful.
because of like being an adult, I no longer like snow.
Oh,
So
I
like
love snow.
cold and rain, let's go. Like
Oh, I'm a snow guy 110%. Because if it's snowing, I get to go skiing.
see, I guess that's fine. I don't ski, and I drove a bus too many times in the snow to be like, I hate snow. It's
I mean,
awful.
I drove a bus in the snow. It's a different type of bus, but it's still a bus.
Wait, what? What bus did you drive in the
An
snow?
ambulance.
That's not a bus. I mean,
Oh, okay, hold on. People
I don't.
absolutely treat it as a bus or a taxi. One
You
of
know
the
what?
two.
You're not wrong. There,
Yeah,
I remember the one time we ever
a very
interacted
expensive taxi.
the one time we interacted in when we were both working, right? You were driving. What were you? What you were driving some sort of paramedic service in the city.
AMR.
Yeah, AMR, and I was in a bus, and a dude was trying to use you as a taxi service to the
Go 5
hospital.
blocks to a hospital.
In I think it was in the U District.
Yep.
And I just came up and it's like, hey, and I'm like, and I think we just gave that guy a transfer.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he was trying to get a taxi service from us for free, but our services, and this is a holistically different topic that
That's different topic.
I get pissed off about how much, your what should be county funded service isn't funded, but how much an ambulance ride is. It was going to cost him about $1,500 to go 5 blocks. It's a very expensive taxi.
I gave him a bus transfer.
You gave him a bus transfer. The guy was miffed. He was so mad. He was like, well, you're not going to take me? I was like, no, you don't hear what I'm saying. I will take you, but you will be billed. Well, that doesn't seem right. Well, it is. You're talking to a private ambulance institution. I don't know what you want. Like, sorry, man. I can't just give free rides. Oh, okay. And then you get on your bus, and then you're like, all right, see you later, and drove off.
Yeah, I drove him to the hospital.
Yeah, drove him to the hospital.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, easers peasers, and then he got to the hospital, I'm sure.
Actually, I don't think I drove him to the hospital. I think I literally drove him a block to drop him off to go to a different bus that would go to the hospital. Like, I told him I would drop him off not a bus stop to like let him catch like any bus down to the hospital.
Yeah,
like that's the deal we made for him. Because at that point, I think I was a 49 that like literally just went up the block and ended.
Yeah,
like, I went the opposite way, but I just like ended. So I was like, "There's no one on my bus."
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like, okay, first off, like I have fundamental issues with how
yeah, but you were just doing a job. I get it.
Yeah, but I have fundamental issues with how the healthcare services is sometimes run in this in the United States, and it's just because well, privatization. Like, come on.
Oh, I mean, I guess this is a topic we're going into. Sure.
Well, it's just if I call 911 now we live in a very good area for this, because if I call 911 and I I ask to go to the hospital, if I am not able to drive myself, the county must either cover the cost
or get someone to do it,
provide a transport for my tax dollars at work in the county we live in. And as a private ambulance, then you can still transport them, but the county will cover that bill instead of the health insurance covering that bill. There are some fire departments in the area that still transport people, because that's what they do. And that's what I believe should, you're paying taxes. The fire department should provide
dollars
exactly.
Work,
and if there's any type of ALS care, which is like oh shit, we need to get you to the hospital, you're dying. That is all county funded in our area. That is not a private ambulance. That is a county funded organization. Your transports for that are free, which is how it should be. I won't say much.
Doesn't cover that is helicopters, which we We have a special
yes, $75 a year will cover a $13,000 helicopter trip.
Yep, which I think your parents are a part of that group, and my parents are. And
well, I mean, anybody in the Pacific Northwest should have it.
Yeah. Or especially if you live on one of the Pacific Northwest island regions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say much more because then I could just take up another 5 hours of just talking about it.
I mean, this is a podcast.
Yeah, but I feel like we should have a whole ass episode dedicated to it.
We're gonna have I'm gonna mark this under B episode, and then
B episode.
And then
does that mean
Jodo rants?
Yep.
Jodo talk. I'm gonna say talks about health.
If it's a B episode, then I gotta ask you: do you like jazz?
No, it's not the B episode. We're gonna get an expert of bees. So we're gonna get an expert of bees for the B episode. So that could be years down the road.
Oh, that's. I mean, I don't. I actually do know an apiarist.
You do?
I do actually know an apiarist.
I mean, are they busy next week?
Are they busy? Yes, they're very busy. No? Okay.
Oh man. We totally have to do the thing we were talking about in ideas. For that.
Absolutely. It's going to happen.
Okay, good.
So, yes. And anyway, it's all true.
It's all true. So I have a weird one for you, and this is probably one that's not going to cause nearly as much controversy about our whole healthcare episode. Well,
yeah.
So modern day mirror visors in your car, they don't have a little flip thing. They're all electronic, but us who grew up in the 90s.
Oh, this topic.
Yeah. I told you, I gave you a hint about it.
Yeah.
So the flipper. So you got the rear mirror thing. The flipper's down normally, so you can see out, right? You can see out your rear mirror window, right? And then so when some jackwagon has their high beams on your ass, you flip it up so you can see still. It's bouncing off the roof of your car and giving a reflection or something like that, right? I don't know how it works. It makes it so that you're seeing a reflection of your rear mirror, not the actual rear mirror, right?
I think the actual mirror is conical, so that when you flip it up,
That's I think so.
Yeah.
Weird take. There are people that leave it in the up position so it faces the mirror and then flip it down. Now, not a big deal. I don't know why this would be a problem. This should be fine. Except, then you see your seats, and then if there's someone sitting in your back seat,
you're just staring at them. Yeah, you're just staring lovingly into their eyes.
Hi. But I shit you not. I used to share a car with someone who would constantly do that, and I thought they were crazy.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But
yeah,
I
don't like that.
I'm asking the ether. I'm asking you, and I'm going to
supposed to flip it up. You're supposed to flip it up because that mirror is designed. That mirror is designed to be flipped up. Now there are mirrors now in newer cars that don't have that because they just auto darken. Yeah. But that mirror, I drive my car that I currently drive is not new at all. And you flip it up. You flip it up because then you can still see out the back of your car. It is.
No, I have no idea if this is a mask. I just knew, I had a memory because we were trying to think about topics. We're trying to make sure we had things to talk about. I had a memory of getting in an argument with this person about this, and me just being told I was wrong. And so maybe this is just ancient Ray's Cubby gaslighting that he's trying to I'm trying to see if I'm crazy or not.
Well, I don't think you're crazy.
Yeah, well, and it's just I just don't know. I don't know. There's no one you would talk to about this without sounding like a crazy person, because we're why are you even talking about this? But now that we have an outlet for these conversations, you're gonna be getting a lot more of them. Buckle up, buddy. Rage Cubby's random shower thoughts that make him cringe. So, but they're gonna be good topics. I swear they're gonna. This one's kind of lame. Not gonna lie, but it just gnawed at me.
Well, I've got one that has a funny name if you want to talk about it.
Ooh, I love funny names.
You ever heard of penetration testing? Yeah, there you go.
Ayo?
I'm going to say that's probably a no.
No, I've never heard of...
Okay, so the whole idea of... They call it pen testing.
I feel like if I might be doing this wrong. Something wrong might...
Well, they call it either penetration or pen testing, and you can either do it digitally or physically. And so my cousin
digitally, ooh.
So the whole point is you're testing people's security. Okay, it's not fun.
Oh,
and
okay. So you're
in no way, shape, or form is it sexual.
Can we back up?
Sure.
What is penetration testing?
I'm about to explain it.
Okay,
So and it starts with my cousin shoving me to another podcast, and it's all about pen testing, and it's these people who get hired.
You're helping yourself here.
It's these people who get hired by, like, let's say Microsoft. Microsoft hires a group of people and says, hey, we have this website. We want you to try and break our security on it. We want you to try and hack in, essentially. And so they go through the digital means, and then they try and hack into the website. The ones that I'm more like I listen to more are the physical pen testing ones, where it's this guy gets hired. It's okay. All right. Laugh it out. Laugh it out.
Like physical pen testing.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're going to call it security testing now.
Do they make sounds or any sounds when they're pen testing? Or they try to be quiet.
You get another silence for that. Anyway,
that's fair.
So this guy gets hired to basically say, hey, this is our business. We need to see where our security flaws are. And so he gets hired to go into a business and basically try and break in and do something that's designed by the head of security or the owner. So he'll have like either a sticky note that he puts on a computer that says, it says like haha, or like, phrase or something. Or he's supposed to be able to log into a computer.
Get penetrated, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Get penetrated, bitch. That just sounds so more violent than it needs to be. So basically, there's this. I hate you. I genuinely am trying. What topic you want to talk about, bud?
No, keep going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just realized that that this whole time we've been talking, there's R ... next to your name and C ... next to my name, because neither of us have actually made stuff. And don't worry about it. We'll fix it next week. It's not a big deal.
Okay. So anyway, he was hired to get into this building. He was hired to get into this building. And so the first stage was I just find it fascinating. There's no punchline at the end of this. I just want to share this story because it's fascinating. This guy has gone to different classes, and so he basically has enough knowledge on really random things to sound like he's a professional. So the first thing that he went to
so you're saying he doesn't have to be right. He just knows things.
Pretty much.
Okay. Tie it back in. Go ahead.
So first they did like a walk around of the building. They're trying to figure out how to get into the building, and there's this security door that has a motion sensor. And they found out the motion sensor was a little bit of ways away from the security door, and so they're kind of like, oh well, how can we trip this motion detection so that we can get into the security door? So they ended up getting a can of air, getting a really long straw, turning the can of air upside down so it blew steam, like the frosty, and they opened the door that way. They shoved it under the door, and they were able to activate the motion detection.
Physically penetrated a door.
So yes, they physically penetrated a door.
Mm-hmm.
So they go in. So they go in, and this guy is he's with a computer guy, and the whole thing is he wants. They were hired to get this computer guy to upload a file onto the desktop of the mainframe computer. That's the objective. And the file is empty. It's just named like, whatever, to signify to the security guy, yes, we were able to get to this point. Yeah. So they walk in, and the guy goes, oh, crap, I forgot my rig. I need to go back to the hotel. And so the guy who's like breaking them into the whole thing, he's like, oh, great. It's the middle of the day. They broke in at like noon, and so he goes, fine, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go find a place to hide. You go and get the rig. Let me know when you need to be let back in. So he goes into the elevator, and he has a little go bag, but he goes into the elevator, and this is the type of guy, he went to elevator class, like a class about elevators, got the keys to all like general elevators, basically just shut down the elevator. He walked in, he told the elevator to go between floors, and he shut down the elevator. So he sat in that elevator waiting for this guy to come back. He pulls out of his bag like this little Otis badge. So he pins it on his front, a little Otis badge, makes it look like he's there to service elevators, and sits there. The guy takes quite a while to come back, so it's like 5 or 6 p.m. when the guy comes back. So he activates the elevator, goes down, lets the guy in. They're coming back in, and a security guard. This is the type of stuff that's interesting to me, because the security guard actually stops them and goes, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And the guy kind of shows him his Otis badge, and he goes, "Oh, I heard you had elevator issues, and we're here to check out the elevator issue." And the guy's like, "Man, you guys are quick. I just called it in about an hour ago." He's like, "Yeah, you're a Gold Star member, so we come out as
roll persuasion."
Yeah, basically, we come out as quickly as possible. So let's go take a look at the elevator." He walks into the elevator that he had been screwing with all day, and he goes, "You know what? You needed to do a quick reset." And he puts in the key, does some
some buttons.
Yeah, pushes some buttons that basically is like a panel, like tests the panel and makes it look like it's doing something fancy. And he's like, "Okay, so I reset the elevator." And then he goes, "Hey, do you guys have, elevator control computer? Basically, it would be where your server is or something like that." And the guy goes, "Oh,"
and he just shows.
Yeah,
it
the guy
them.
goes, "Oh yeah, well, let's go take a look." And he goes up to the server room, and the security guard goes, "I don't know if my badge works." He badges in and goes, "Oh yeah, no, go ahead in." And just lets him into the place that he needed to go. So they upload the file, and then they're like, "All right, well, everything's cool here. We'll see you later." And then just leave the building.
Holy
Isn't that
shit.
wild?
So they have multiple security issues.
Yeah, so it tested their security to see where they need training, where they need, so that's the whole point of that. It's not to get anybody fired, it's just to be like, okay, here's where we need training. These guys get given a letter from the security, head of security as well. So basically it's like, okay, you've caught me, because some security detains people. So they'll be like, "Okay, you've caught me, give this to," and then they'll use like the head of security's name. He'll explain the whole situation. Well, they also will give fake letters of that. So there was one time where, like, they've done it a couple times where they give fake letters and the guy's like, "Oh, you can just go," and then they complete their mission. There's one time where he gives the letter and the guy looks at it and he goes, "That's not his number. That's not his number. This is bullshit." And he's like, "God damn it. All right, here's the actual letter." It's an interesting career.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's an interesting career that I didn't know was a thing.
It's like legal rogues.
Yeah, it's a weird career that I never thought was an actual thing, and it makes so much sense hearing about it, because how else are you gonna? Yeah,
I knew something about that existed because I remember there was a test at they did it to they had something like that happen in all King County facility.
Yeah.
And like the only place they had problems getting into was the base that we worked at. Like they were able to, like almost every other base of operations for transit, they were able to break into. They were able to get into most of the major county buildings. This is years ago when I was working.
Yeah.
I remember they had a hard time, and it was partially because like Atlantic Central, the base I worked out of, was the first one that had the key reader in and outs. And there had just been a big training to not open doors for people.
Yeah, and tailgating, yeah.
Yeah, so the guys that actually, though, found old King County uniforms at thrift stores and had brought those in. But, like, it wasn't the right badge and stuff. So, like, apparently in the report, it was like there's some base right up that Lansing Central, like, did a good job and stuff because like someone had basically been like, "That's not the right batch." What? Like it was the old King County Clover, I think it was, or whatever.
Yeah,
was.
Yeah.
And it's like that's super wrong.
That's
and
funny.
It also looked super dingy. Well, yeah, I mean, and I think it was also a couple weeks before we had some inner employee issues.
Oh yeah.
Say like yeah, we had I think it wasn't an act. It was a gentleman got fired. And apparently this is like right before the security thing. A gentleman got fired and he was hanging out the base, just avoiding bosses and stuff because like everyone knew him. And then he was apparently living at the base / in the car at stuff. He had a ton of bad stuff happen. But when they finally kicked him out of the building, he said he was going to like come back and shoot up the place.
Yeah.
And just basically had locked the whole Atlantic Central. Like we'd all been like that put everybody on edge, you know. He got arrested though, like the same day. He just said that, but it was still like just super like put everyone on edge. So I think that's the only reason we really passed. People open doors in that building all the time. I almost guarantee you that I could walk into that building in normal clothes.
Well, I mean, you're known there.
Yeah, I'm known. That's probably why, but still, that itself is a security flaw.
Oh, absolutely. No, there's
Like,
yeah. Absolutely. That
oh,
should not be possible. It's yeah. Yeah, no,
that's
we
just
had a
power of charisma.
yeah, power of charisma. We had a whole thing about not letting people tailgate when I worked in the children's hospital. Obvious reasons.
Oh yeah.
You know, you don't want people
Parents be wild.
Yeah, parents be wild, yo. And you don't want people, you know, coming in that they're not supposed to and then going out with a kid. You know, that's a bit of a no-no. Thank you. But yeah, so it's you know, just a tiny bit. Pen testing is it seems very it seems like a very cool Gesundheit. It seems like a very cool cool thing to do.
You like the pen test? What I'm saying, I'm sorry, I thought we're still talking about, I thought we were talking about pins and testing them.
I think security testing would be a cool career. See what I did there?
You replaced the word pin with
yeah, I did.
Security. Very good.
I really do like oh thanks. Round of applause.
I think your noise suppression's off, by the way.
Yeah, probably is.
That's why that clapping came through your mic.
Yeah. No, it's just it seems like a very interesting thing that, you know, I have a knowledge skill that probably would help in doing that, which is kind of interesting. I mean, half the time the guy that I was referring to, if he you don't know anything, it's fine.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't have any knowledge.
Yeah, you don't have to be right. The guy half the time he just talks about door seals. He walks in and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm here to check your door seals." And he went through a door seal class, and he can like, "Oh yeah, that's not up to code. Oh yeah, I'm just checking to see how much this type of gap." And if anybody Googled like base level Googled what he was saying, it would all be correct. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean that's half of any sort of security or like thievery is just knowing like.
Yeah.
I mean, in the movies, it's true. It's like in the movies, like in movies with thievery and stuff, they always add like there's like a layer of like, oh my god, I was right.
Yeah.
But like good thievery, it's like research and knowing your shit and knowing general things, and just knowing, drinking and knowing things. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
no, basically.
Like yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't know how many times like me and my father would like, my dad's a big photography guy, right?
My father.
And I always say this on the old Nicomero Bridge. If you stop, like there are so many unfortunate suicide events on that bridge that if you stopped, you could walk across the old bridge, but if you stopped, they were going to probably like they had cameras that would call the police to like be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
But we wanted to like my dad wanted to take pictures of the Tacoma Narrows and stuff on that bridge. So what did we do? We got high-vis vests, hard hats.
Yep.
And we walked out onto the bridge and took photos on it for like an hour with no issues. Like, you know, and my dad, because my dad's a train. We'll talk about this someday. My dad is what he would call himself a rail fan. And so we were taking pictures of the train that goes by the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. We're taking a picture of train, and that's what he wanted. And so we were on the bridge getting a very unique shot of that.
Mm-hmm.
For probably an hour. I had a clipboard. I was standing there. I think it was like 16.
Yeah.
Standing there with a clipboard or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of my mind. I might be a little younger than that too.
It's the whole notion of if you look like you know what you're doing, then people aren't going to harass you.
Well, and we would, growing up on an island, we remember before 9/11, there was, you could basically walk into the career area and just be like, and like have like I mean, there's so many people that just said that like I heard so many times of like people we used to grow up with that would be like, yeah, I just told them I belonged, and they were like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like the screw area on the ferry boats used to have no like security.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And I'm like,
Absolutely not.
wild.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, obviously security tightened after national tragedy. I mean, that's obvious, but even still to this day on where we grew up, you can really just, I don't know if strong arm's the word, but if you want to go somewhere, you just kind of just go there, and people don't generally want to stop you.
Are you talking about like with transit, or like are you just talking about like in general where we grew
Just
up?
in general.
I think that though that's small town stuff.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me that, you know, yeah. Anyway, if you don't, if you act like you belong, so yeah, it's wild.
I am sure that if I acted like I belong, I could at least get into a fire station.
No, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure.
Like but just because like I think that's the whole like knowing, like, you know, it's like people know you. It's like if you say if you name drop where we grew up, and you name drop the right thing, your people will just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's different ways to get
terrible.
in. Yeah,
it's so terrible.
When it comes back to just, you know, when you don't think about security, like if that's not your number one goal, it's people don't really care.
It's just like I mean, you know, when we first started streaming, we never thought about getting doxxed.
Oh yeah,
and we still are not at the size, like, because you know we're not at the size to be doxxed or anything. Probably.
Thank God.
If we were at the size to get doxxed, we could probably figure out who it was and be like, what the, you know, it's you know, but you get a little bigger, you get like to 30 people even. You're starting to get to be like, ooh.
Yeah, oof.
We should probably really make sure we're not in the white pages, and really make sure, like, you know, the police know that we're people who could, you know, we're not big enough to be popular, like famous, but we're big enough to get doxxed, you know?
Yeah. No, and yeah, no. Doxing, thank God no one here doxes, because then they'd find that shitty video that I made so many years ago. So, haha.
I mean, that's different. That's like internet stalking.
No, don't do it.
I can be bribed.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
I live next to your computer, which then will have a serious accident.
What if I split the money with
you? Oof. Depends on the money.
Okay, now, see, I can be bribed. I'll make it double whatever my normal rate would be. It'd be a lot. It'd be enough for a new graphics card, probably.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, okay. See, there you go.
All right,
there
sure. If someone wants to get me a new graphics card so I can actually use this computer to play, then yes. Yes, I will.
Oh, what? That's a great topic. So I have a really shitty 1660 Ti in my computer. Like it's about on scale to your 980 Ti, but they're old. Both our graphics cards are showing their age.
Yep.
There is a CPU that AMD is bringing out in their new set of CPUs that has onboard graphics cards that are the equivalent of my graphics card.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that sucks.
That feels bad, man.
I'm like, oh.
Jesus.
And that's why because this technology is coming out, that's why I think I was just reading a blurb on it. That's why like Nvidia has been leaving the low end graphics card stuff, is because they know that CPUs are just eventually they're getting so powerful that they're just taking up that space.
Yeah.
With onboard graphics and absolutely I think it's the new AMD processor coming out as. It's just so powerful that it can basically be a CPU and a GPU at the same time, and just use like that's why they're. I mean, it makes sense. That's why their CPUs can eat so much RAM, is because they have a GPU in them. Basically, it's like games that don't have. This is a tangent, right? Games that don't have RAM sharing in it are absolutely insane. Looking at you, Starfield, because like games are starting to eat 12 gigs of graphic card RAM and stuff like that. That's why our graphics cards are really starting to fail, is they don't have RAM in them.
Oh yeah.
But like we can play Baldur's Gate, but we can't play Starfield really well on our computers.
Yeah.
Because Baldur's Gate RAM shares. If you look at your RAM usage on your computer when you have Baldur's Gate open, it's going to be at like 16 gigs.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know you've got 32 in your computer as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. and that's how we're able to run that game, is because it's sucking up CPU RAM.
Yeah.
It's just like nom 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 nom, and like to save your graphics card. It's just like Starfield does not know how to do that, and it's just
No.
like
Well, it's a Bethesda thing, right?
You know, Tom Howard just said, "Why don't you upgrade your computer?" You know, so
y'all
Todd
got phones.
It's very much y'all got phone energy.
Yeah,
Dude.
y'all got
Holy
phones.
shit! That's another thing we could talk about if you want. It finally went through, by the way. The Microsoft Activision merger.
Oh.
So I have a people who don't know me. I have a long-standing thing where I basically said, as long as Bobby Kotick is the CEO of Activision Blizzard, I will not be playing Activision Blizzard. And in 2 months, at the start of the next year, he won't be anymore. Woo! Going in later why he's the scum of a human being. I still don't know if I'll play Activision Blizzard games because honestly, they're all kind of trash. But at least I can. I don't know. Looking at it, like, I don't think I'd ever like they still like tore Diablo into the ground and stuff, but like at least now I won't have like I said I wouldn't do this thing. And be very careful when you're on the internet and you say you're not going to do something. Because I'm lucky enough to know that I'm a person that knows I will, like, people will remember that. And so it's like you have to like almost make it a part of like oh, I can't do that because I do this. And like it's like I know I annoy people by bringing up why I won't do it all the time, but I'm not doing it to be like you're a bad person for playing Activision games. It's because I'm like I have to keep telling myself I said this. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to do it on accident, and someone's like, "You said you were gonna."
Yeah. Well, I mean, what a garbage piece of shit. Anyway,
awful human being.
Yeah, I mean it's
really good at making money though, obviously.
Oh yes.
Which, you know. Oh man, this is this is my Durga's gonna comment on this and be like, it was your fault that we always talk about serious things on our podcast. Cup.
Yep.
Ha ha ha.
Yep. Yeah,
my fault.
It's your fault.
I'm in it. You know, I like gaming. I like stuff, and I'm very passionate about, you know, treating your employees not like trash.
True.
What
a novel idea.
Anything else you like to talk about?
I've got plenty of things to talk about. What about you?
I just came up with like 3,000 different things. We've been going for like an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes. I'm just,
you came up with 3,000 different things. Would you like to
talk? I brought 3 things, and then now I'm starting to just vamp off of myself. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not a streamer and just continuing to talk and letting you talk.
Oh no. Okay. Well, let's talk about miniature painting.
I hate miniature painting.
Good talk.
I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. That's what
good talk. That's a wrap, folks.
I'm kidding. I was kidding. It was a meme, bro. It was a meme.
Why are you fighting, bro? It's just a joke.
I saw you painting last night a little bit. You didn't paint on stream yesterday.
No, I didn't want to stream. But yeah, miniature painting. It's quite a fun hobby, to be completely fair. So I think I talked. Well, on stream, I definitely talked about one of the guys that I follow, Ninjon, and he doesn't even really play the game. He just paints the minis.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know, painting minis. It's just a fun little thing to do. I mean, especially if I'm in the middle of painting Star Wars, so me being me is like, I'm going to paint it so that it's Star Wars accurate. You know, and that's just me because that's what brings me joy. But being able to take an army, like Ninjon does sometimes, and just go, hey, I'm gonna flip it on its head, or another good one. I just blanked on their name. That's a damn shame because they're really good.
Podcast number 2, where we don't self-promote ourselves but other people.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, there's a bunch of them out there that will take an army and they don't really play the game. They're just like, oh, this is cool, and they do beautiful jobs about painting models and making like diagrams. Now there is a tournament, not a tournament.
Is that like a tournament but with turtles? Tournament?
Yes.
Oh, cool. How did the turtles fare?
They did really well.
I'm glad. My favorite was the guy who's got red racing stripes because it doesn't actually make the turtle faster.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh.
Anyway, it's not a tournament. It's a competition. It's a painting competition called Golden Demon.
When did he die?
Just now. He's
Carry
dead. He's dead, Jim. But Golden Demon is basically a whole bunch of painters get together and say who's the best painter, and there's different awards, and there's different levels of Golden Demon. There's different like diorama, single, there's a whole bunch of categories. There's other competitions as well, like Crystal Brush, which is very much so, oh, you're a beginner level crystal brush, we look at these things like basic color composition and blah blah blah, and then they escalate from there. But Golden Demon's like top of the top. It's a GW run competition, and it's,
I'm sorry, what?
Painting.
Yeah, I knew that, but you said like golden crystal, and I was...
So there's two maybe I should...
Yeah.
Okay. There's two competitions I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
One's called Golden Demon, which is by GW, who makes Warhammer 40K. And then there's another one called Crystal Brush, which I believe is just an independent one. They're both painting competitions. Golden Demon's very much geared towards the professional painter. I paint this model, and it looks like it really has skin type of painter. And Crystal Brush is like beginner noob, me, which would be cool to enter sometime.
Cool.
Very focused on...
I'm caught up now.
Gotcha.
You
very
went on
focused,
a tangent.
Very focused on like basic painting skills and basic blending skills, and they have different categories like beginner, intermediate, advanced, like different competitions. But
I just have to explain what you did there. Is you did what I do to people all the time, which is you just say a lot of words and assume I know what they all mean, and I was like, I'm lost. Our listeners have tuned out hours ago.
Essentially what pen testing is. Anyway, so
I think they like that part.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyway,
unless they're wearing really good belts, then they can't get pen tested.
There's always a way. Life finds a way.
Carry on. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, so the painters that I watched, they're all... We've entered Golden Demon. I think Ninjon's won Golden Demon a couple of times. But just... I've lost my train of thought. But being able to look at, like, someone who has created a piece of art on a piece of plastic, it's impressive what people can do. There was a bust that was put into last Golden Demon. I don't know if it won, but the stippling on the skin tones was extremely well done, to the point where, they had like little blemishes and sunspots that it looks like a person staring at you. It's just impressive. Like, I don't know how to get to that level of painting, but bear in mind, this person is thinking months and months of labor hours into doing that. It's just like, God, I'm just happy if I get a model done. Holy crap. But have you any interest in doing model painting?
I had a little bit of it when with the house campaign, more style model painting, where like I actually got a bunch of grade models and like rubble and stuff like that. But I think I'm at the point where DMing where just world building is daunting enough, and I feel like if I added model building to it, it'd be a lot of bike shedding. I think that's what it's bike shedding or whatever that word means. Is the idea of
bike shedding?
I think bike shedding. I believe I could be saying the completely wrong thing. Bike shedding is the idea of so at Chernobyl, I believe it comes from at Chernobyl. They had all these plans, but they spent millions of dollars trying to figure out how to build the bike shed. And like instead of focusing on everything else they should have been focusing on, it's the idea of it's the idea of focusing on something that's not super important. You know.
I see.
Yeah, that's bike shedding. I heard it from, I could be completely wrong on what this is called, but
You don't have to be right.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome. This is my turn to derail your thought process.
I think that you can't. It's physically impossible. I think that models, miniatures would just, as much as that would make cooler for the house campaign in that aspect, I think it would derail me from actually making a campaign that's good for you guys. And I felt that a lot in our second Pathfinder campaign, which is currently on like kind of semi hiatus, because I got all tied up in like trying to make a story and not as much just world build. Whereas the online campaign I'm doing right now is a lot more world building instead of story. Like I have a story, I have a boss set up, but I don't have like in my head, I don't have how they're going to do things. So I felt like in your campaign, the second Pathfinder campaign, I led you guys. I'm going on a complete tangent here. I tried to lead you guys too much in what you were doing. So if I had like miniatures and I had all this stuff figured out to do that, I feel like my leading would be so much worse because I'm like, I already made all this stuff. I made this cool stuff for this. Now I'm not going to use it, kind of thing. So it's a little bit of that, I think.
Interesting.
Is why I'm not into miniatures for D&D, and I don't play a tabletop game like you do with actual rules.
Well, I mean,
D&D has rules, but like I don't in D&D we don't need miniatures. They're nice, but we don't need them.
Yeah, counterpoint. I will say that having a miniature of your character in D&D, at least for me, really gets me into connection with that character because I have a physical representation of like, hey, this is my dude.
Now that's fine, assuming that you don't like the DM doesn't kill you. That's totally like having a miniature of your character. I'm totally cool with. I think having like as a DM though, I was thinking more of just like if I spent that much more time in building something and then the characters just didn't do it, my brain would probably like break or something, or like I would be afraid as a DM I would do drastic measures to make that happen.
Yeah.
I also think that the first Pathfinder campaign with you guys was product of me not knowing enough about Pathfinder, like because it was a completely new system, and in D&D I had learned enough about it where I could just bib it at least low levels, but at Pathfinder now I'm a lot more solid with it, and I feel like I can fake it a lot better, which is all I do as a DM. I fake it. So
I mean that's part of being a DM is you fake it until you make it. I mean I've never had a campaign go the way that I have written it. The thing you can't that's not true. You can factor in people if you've played long enough with them. You can factor in what people are going to do because you know their play style. But the thing you can't factor when you're a new GM is how are people going to respond to this threat? Are they going to go along the railroad that I have set up for, or are they going to try and take a left turn with an engine? And the nuance is making that left turn feel like a left turn, but continuing down the path that you have chosen for them. Such as when I ran my first campaign, I would set up a map like completely like I would set up a building. I was DMing 3.5, I think. D&D 3.5? I don't know. One of the D&Ds. And I would set up a building and I would have like the thing they're going for in one of the rooms. Now, what I would do is I would like it was a secret little room and they wouldn't find the room. They all failed their checks. Well, what the hell do you do now? You know? It's one of the things where you go, well, you need to have them lead to that evidence. So or whatever that idol or whatever it was. So looking back on it, you know, like I screwed that up by putting a wall there, putting a physical barrier there. In one of my future campaigns, I said, well, there's going to be a secret room. If they fail their check, the secret room's just going to move and they're going to like stumble into it, such as they all failed their checks to try and find this secret room behind the bookcase. So then I just went, well, guess what? The floor gives out and now you're in the secret room. You failed the check, so you're going to take some damage. and now there's a staircase that goes behind the bookcase. You know, you just have to change it on the fly to try and meet into what your campaign's going to do. I've been in situations where friggin' like you set up this whole town and they're like, hey, look at that mountain over there, let's go. And you're like, okay.
Well, no, I mean, I also think the easiest way to solve your secret room idea is always to have your secret room trapped. Because if you have them roll an investigation check, the subtle idea is that they go and check the entire room.
Yeah.
Right. And so that, like, perception is just looking, but investigation is actually them, like, they're like feeling around or like walking up to stuff. So if your room is trapped, if your secret thing is trapped, they may not see the trap, they may not see the room, but they're going to run into it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like I was saying, the floor, you know, you fail the investigation check, you fall through the floor.
Yeah. And so that's what I've learned. But my whole thing is like, I've also, I think I'm with the first campaign I did really well, is you need to have more, you need to force your characters into a linear start, I would say, and then let it open up. And forcing them into a linear start isn't like, you almost don't want to let your characters know it's a linear start, but like you basically make it so the most easiest option for your characters is the one you lay in front of them. Because a lot of times I learned with the I made the mistake with the second campaign of not giving you guys direction. And I've now watched a lot of campaigns, and most campaigns are like everyone's together and there's already there's like either someone's connected or everyone's there, and the easiest solution is the one you put in front of them, and they all do it, and in their like learning of doing it, they actually want to stick together, because now it's like, hey, we actually solved this thing together, we could just stick around, kind of thing, you know. It's like the one charisma character says, you know, or like that. And you know, that's the idea.
Well, yeah, so I mean, I like the whole idea of like starting in an organic way, but most of the time that I start my campaign, like let's go to the Delta Green campaign that we
oh yeah, so I remember that one shot you did.
Yeah, well I'm going to go to the Delta Green campaign that we wrapped up earlier this year, and we're doing the second season in the Reroll podcast. Is the Delta Green campaign, it started with people, the brief was, you need to be in Big Stick, Montana. That was the brief. You need to be in the city or the town of Big Stick, Montana.
Big Sticks, Montana.
Yeah, Big Sticks, Montana.
Dodge trucks roam free.
But the brief was, your character needs to have a reason to be in Big Stick, Montana. So one of them was driving through for a conference. One of them had a tire blowout and they were stuck in the town. And two of us lived there at the time. And that was the whole connection. That was the only connection. And
so the DM had the two that lived there helping out the people with the blown out tire at the start of it, basically, right?
No, not even that.
Really?
The two of us were just in a diner, and the rest of them showed up, and here we are. You know, it started the
scene from that movie that I referenced. I just forgot it because I'm starting to sneeze.
Oh, and there's the sneeze. You can tell because our images flopped if you're watching YouTube.
Yep, the images flip when I mute.
But yeah, no, it's just and then it starts. Hot Fuzz. Oh, there you go. The
diner scene.
Yeah. And then but stuff like that, like I had a really good D&D campaign that I was a player in.
Yeah.
And you think about that, and I'll continue on my tangent.
I'll never remember.
That's fair. But the D&D campaign that I really enjoyed started us on a shipwreck. You know, we were, regardless of why you were going where, you went to bed in your bed and woke up abandoned on a beach. Here you are. And it was very cool, because now our characters didn't necessarily need to have a reason to be together. We didn't need to have a backstory that had to.
They were there by force.
We were there by force. You know, I have tried the whole like, oh, you guys are just on a planet, and then try and meet each other. Like for my Star Wars campaign, it was like you try and meet each other in a diner, and without a brief of saying, hey, this is when you guys are going to meet. I find it very difficult, not impossible, but very difficult, because you get the player that's like, well, I don't want to work with the characters. And you go, well, then write a new character that does. I don't know what to tell you. Like, here's the game.
My favorite start to a D&D campaign I ever had was the standard like in a pub kind of scene.
Yeah.
Except like halfway through it, when the characters were starting to meet, the DM had the pub explode.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like they were all in the basement of this pub, and like they were all like at like 6 HP or something. Like
nice.
they're all level 1.
Level 1,
they're all like, maybe they're all on like 3 to like 4 HP. There was a realistic chance that like someone could get unconscious by the explosion.
Yeah.
And no one did, but it was just like everyone was low, and then like all of a sudden the guards show up, and they're like, everyone else is dead but the characters. And so the guards all of a sudden are like, hey, you 5 there, you did this, and it's like all of a sudden now we are together, even if we don't want to be, because the guards think we're together.
Like,
so
great.
We might as well be. And it was like, oh, okay. And like 2 of them were local, so they knew a place to go hide out, and so everyone went and hid out with them. And oh my goodness, that's such a good campaign. I felt I need to go back to watch it. They're on like season 3 or something.
Yeah,
it was it's a Twitch streamer doing it. It's such a good campaign.
That sounds like a fun way to start a campaign.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of homebrew in it too. So they're in like a very high fantasy type thing where there's magic and stuff, but there's like slime creatures and stuff like that. And they're like in almost space stuff, like very interesting. And they're like basically all criminals too, so it's hilarious.
Well, I mean, if not then, now
they were that. Yeah, they were now. And it's very interesting because the guy runs like 3 to 4 campaigns at the same time in the same universe. And he had actually like a big collab of them in one episode, because just they ran into each other, and they're kind of, in the end, they found out they were all fighting the same boss thing.
Yeah.
I'm just full of sneezes today. This is the worst. I'm trying my best not to sneeze again because I don't want to.
Why are you so sneezy, bro?
I probably didn't take my allergy pills last night.
Makes sense.
Some of us are allergic to the outside. That's why my favorite ground is carpet. And
well, as a ranger, you're inherently supposed to be outside.
Fuck. This isn't really a spoiler for my next campaign though. I'm really excited about it. But all my characters are trained in all my players are trained in stealth. So that's not really a spoiler to them, because they're gonna figure it out really quick. Anyway, but I'm gonna get a counter, and we'll fill you in on this podcast how many times my encounters were ruined to stealth rolls, and we'll check back. There'll be a fun little thing to do here. I also forgot I had a whole segment for this podcast that we didn't do. I wanted to do, by the way. It's called "It Came from the Discord." I would like you to clarify, what is a ute?
A ute? It's a style of vehicle.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if you look in our general chat, there was a whole conversation.
Yeah.
I believe it started with Rainbow Kiwi saying you put the U in cute, and ute is a word. And then there's this whole thing about cars. And so can you clarify for those who aren't in the Discord, what's a ute?
Okay, well, let me actually get the definition of the ute.
Oh, you're but you don't have to be right. Don't Google it. You ruin the whole thing.
Oh, okay, fine. So a ute is basically think of a sedan cab. Like the cab of a modern day sedan. Like you take your Outback or your Subaru Outback. You get the 4 seats of the Subaru Outback. Chop it off at the back of the seats, and then you have a tray.
Okay. Oh, so it's a Subaru. It's like a 3-row sedan with the 3rd seats cut out and a truck being there instead.
Yeah, like a small little truck body, but you can also change it out for like a flatbed. You can change it out for overcab. So it's things that you can change out, and it's a utility vehicle basically.
It's a truck, but a sedan.
Yeah, I mean the closest that you'll find in the United States that's widely well, was widely available. People still have them because they're great. Is the Subaru Baja, where you have the 4 seats and then you have the little truck bed. That's the closest you're going to find in the United States.
Subaru Baja is a blast.
I really hate you. I can't believe you've done this. No, so yes, it is a blast. I would own the hell out of one if I had the finances to do that.
Are they still made? Do they still make them, or
nope,
is it like
they absolutely do not. They are or at least to my knowledge in the United States they do not produce them. I think they're Japanese imports, either that or they're actually Australian imports. But it's a wonderful little car. I would drive the hell out of one. But yeah, Utes are great, and we had a whole thing about Utes or station wagons, like a whole little conversation. So, what would you rather have, a Ute or a station wagon?
I'm gonna say a station wagon, just because they're still made. I know like the one Australian we know will get really upset with me saying that, but Utes are niche and they went away for a reason.
No, that's not true, because Utes are still widely used.
Oh, are they still used? Oh,
yeah.
That was what I was thinking of when I said station wagon. It was literally like there's not any parts or anything for them. So
so the Subaru stopped making a Ute, but I mean, like Holden still makes a Ute, GM still makes a Ute.
Holden, these nuts. Thank you everyone for watching the You Don't Have to Be Right podcast. That was our last save of the day.
Hate you.
It came from the Discord. We've been going for about an hour and 45 minutes.
We're not done with this.
What? We're not? Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
You think Utes are not a thing? You watch a channel that he has a Ute. A brand new Ute.
I know Utes are a thing. I know they're a thing.
No, you don't.
That was an old
You don't have to be right.
The guy that we watch collects nuggets.
He still gets Utes. Their Utes are still produced. It's a body style of car that just doesn't show up in the United States because we're a truck family over here, I guess.
Yeah. I'm trucking,
bro. You trucking these nuts.
I kind of figured a D Nuts joke was the end of the podcast. That's why I started wrapping up. You know, like
I mean, that's fair.
Like, maybe we wrap. I mean, we almost made it 2 hours. Honestly,
well,
that's kind
if we
of
just continue talking about Utes, we can take it 2 hours.
I don't want to talk about Utes for 2 hours.
Fine. All right, then let's talk about one.
Okay, you got something else. You got something else.
One more topic.
You really need to make a docket for this podcast.
A docket?
Yeah, it's a docket. So like you and me are on the same page of what we're gonna try to talk about. Like,
oh no, I like it this way because then I get to surprise you.
Okay. Fair.
So I have got one more topic that I want to discuss, and this is kind of like a generalized, what do you call it? Like a broad term, broad scope. It's not necessarily asking why you do this. It's like the royal you. But why do you lie? Why do people lie? What is the concept behind lying?
Oh, dude.
Like, I know the base concept, to get what you want.
That's like, you are. Ooh.
Like, I know the base concept. The base concept is to get what you want. You're lying to. Well, yeah. I mean, if I walk into a store and I say I've already purchased this thing, and they go, okay, you now have the thing for free. You've got what you want. You wanted the thing for free, you get the thing for free. You know? I say that I'm a firefighter, a professional firefighter to people, and then they go, oh, okay, so now I have the clout of being a professional firefighter. I'm not, by the way. I'm not a professional firefighter. That's just an example.
I mean, you're close.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Oh, ooh, he's trying. But it's like, why, beyond that, beyond a level of instant gratification, because there's always going to be repercussions. No matter if you get away with the lie then, there's going to be repercussions.
Yeah, that is the root of lying is eventually you have to, like, I would almost say in high school. In high school I wouldn't want to tag myself as a liar, but I got caught up in a lot of like,
sure.
Like, my parents, bless them, they were good parents and everything. They still are good parents. They're not dead. They
no, I hope
they
not.
just grew up, they're very conservative, and I was a high schooler on an island that was very liberal, and I wanted to go do things, and so you just don't tell them.
Yeah.
And then like I also got caught up in a lot of I had the type of personality where I had people who would come and tell me things.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are on the other side of it demanding you tell them what they said.
Yeah.
And that's another reason to lie, is protecting. And it's like, I'm not gonna tell you what they said, or eventually just say some bullshit.
Right.
That's like, well, you're not gonna leave till I tell you something, so I'm gonna tell you they said this, and that will make you happier. Because then you won't care,
right, and you can leave now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but you have to be careful, because you get caught up in these webs of these stories you're telling. And luckily high school ended before, you know, like shit got out of hand, and I just kind of learned, like, well, never gonna do that again. And I got out of a, I'm no longer in like a small town situation where that happened. But it's
right,
and I also grew up, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just,
I would say I lied a lot in high school to not necessarily just get what I want, but to not get in trouble.
Right. I mean, that's essentially getting what you want, isn't it? You don't want to be in trouble, but it's just, it goes beyond, like, people do these weird things. Like, I mean, people lie about the weirdest things, like relationships. A lot of people lie about being in relationships. People lie about.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I wouldn't know anything about that either. Nope, not at all. But it's just like people lie about things. I don't know if it's they have accepted the repercussions that are inevitably going to happen. Is it they don't think about the repercussions that are inevitably going to happen? Because the instant gratification's there, right? You've lied, you got what you want. The instant gratification's there. But it's
I think on a psychological level, I don't think people are always like you're told. You were right. You lie to get what you want, but there's a lot of, just like with cheating. We talked about that earlier, like in cheating in games and stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the background that you tell yourself, that like why you're lying and why you're doing this and stuff, right? And it's a messy thing. You're not wrong with why people lie. Is see what you want, but there's a lot of like if people are, especially with pathological liars, there's a lot in the background there. There's a lot of like parents or family always looking down on, and like, so you learn to lie as a survival technique, right?
I mean, that makes sense.
So that's a lot of it. And then you just learn, you starts as a survival technique, and then you go into like, well, I have to keep this appearance, because if I don't, like, my family told me I have to have this appearance, and I lied to them about it. So now, to keep this appearance, I will lie to everyone I know, and I will constantly do it, and I will deny, and lie until, like, that is my appearance. And for some people, that's more of a fake it till you make it thing. But in other cases where it's like, you're being extravagant with your money, you're being extravagant with all these things where you're really not, that's not good.
Yeah, and that's I guess there's different reasons to lie. It's not, it's just I can't quite wrap my head around the whole thing. Like, is lying an option? And I mean, obviously you lie to protect those that you love. Like, if someone says, hey, for instance, hey, I just got we had, I don't know, some situation where it's like a very personal, like, reason of like, oh, I had this medical thing and it's really taking a toll on me, and someone goes, oh, what's going on with Bill today? And he's just, oh, Bill's just having an off day. You don't necessarily
that's
like
keeping things private.
Yeah, I mean, it's not lying. It's just being like, it's not your fucking business. Don't talk about it, But the thing that gets me is people who will come up. It's like the cheater, the people who come up and blatantly be like, I know I'm doing something blatantly in the wrong here. I am coming into this competition to win in nefarious ways, or I am going to go into this courtroom and perjure myself or lie to try and get what I want. And I mean, like, you're going to get caught. It's a rule. It's a law of averages.
You also have to realize that when someone's lying to that point, you're getting to the passive sociopathic kind of tend.
Yeah.
Where they know they're doing something society says is wrong, but they don't think it's wrong for them to do, and they
deserve it.
They deserve it,
Yeah.
and so then you're getting into like you're starting to get into like socio, like this is 15 credits of psych classes talking cup, but like you're getting into like sociopath stuff and like a lot of disconnected, like they're disconnected from like there's some sort of disconnected from their what they're doing and what they view as right and wrong, and when you get to that level of lying, it gets really messy.
Yeah,
like
it does.
It's just so messy. As we would not know anything about that or anything.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
current relationships. Current relationships are fine, right, dear? Yeah. You didn't even give me a stink eye when she said yes there.
No, it's just something that I thought of, and I was like, man, it's something that is rampant in this world. And I guess moral of the story is be the better person. Try not to.
I think though the flip side of that is sometimes telling the truth can be very hard.
Oh no, telling the truth can be extremely hard. But think of it this way. Let's say you're in let's take relationship for example. Let's say you're in a relationship.
I wouldn't know why we're using this.
I wonder why. Let's say you're in a relationship that you are not getting anything out of. You don't like being in this relationship. You're kind of burned out on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And I see it.
And the hardest thing is to be honest and say, hey, we need to end this relationship. Understandable, but consider this. And maybe it's a situational, like, oh, you don't consider it because you don't want to take the hard way out, you want to take the easy way out. You don't want to upset the person, maybe you still care for them, but consider this. Having someone come up and be honest to you and say, hey, it's just not working, or hey, we're better friends than married, or hey, we're better friends than in a relationship. Maybe we should consider stepping back into just more of a friend role, or maybe we need to talk about if this relationship is better.
Are we breaking up after the second episode of this podcast?
Absolutely. Okay. Difficult conversation to have. Would you rather have that conversation, or would you rather have the conversation of the, hey, I just slept with this guy, I just slept with this girl because I don't like our relationship anymore? Like, what conversation would you rather have on a real level? Like, seriously.
I mean, I think
well, it's just when you think about it.
I'm flustered, Jodo.
I am too. But when you think about it, like when you think about it, it's the I guess you're just not thinking at the time. But
so
yeah, go ahead.
I believe those conversations, if the skipping a couple steps, right? Like there has to be like being like I'm unhappy, and then being like I'm gonna cheat on this person. Those two thoughts did not happen in the same day.
Oh, well, I mean, true. They did not happen in the same day, but they need to be communicated. Maybe it's a communication issue. Maybe some form of lying also comes from communication breakdown. Because you can be experiencing these feelings, and if you're not open, if you're not honest, if you don't communicate with your partner or communicate with the people involved, then things happen where you spiral into a situation maybe that you feel like it's the only option. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. I'm a blunt person when it comes to some things. Very blunt, in fact.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. You wouldn't know. Yeah. It's just like, if you ask me how I'm doing, I'm very much so the person.
Was a lie. I do. Sorry, we're talking about lying, and I'm lying. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, get out of here. No. But it's like if you ask me how I'm doing, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? I'm not going to go into gritty,
never have, never will.
Yeah, nitty gritty details, but I'm not like the common thing is saying that you're
really bad. Hold on, I know you're doing really bad when I ask that, and you just kind of give me a look. Like, oh, he's not even saying. Okay, all right, buddy.
no, it's like the common thing is like going, yeah, I'm fine. That's the common thing. We all do it. Yeah, I'm fine, even when we're not fine. We've all done it before, but the doing the yeah, I'm fine thing for a relationship, like being at like if something's off and you don't bring it up, you've kind of done that to yourself. And
you and your wife are okay, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, you're making me nervous.
No. This has nothing. This has no bearing on.
Okay, we're talking about past. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're talking about nothing to do with my relationship at this point.
But making me nervous.
No. No, but it's kind of one of those situations where I was just thinking about this. That's why I brought it up. I was just thinking about this.
Totally fine.
But it's just like I don't know where I don't know how you get to that point. And maybe it's just because I haven't been to that point. I never will be to that point, to be completely candid. But like, I've never been to the point where I've thought, hey, you know what will spice my life up? A second sexual partner that these partners don't even know anything about each other. Like, never been there where I'm like, yeah, this is the fucking thing to do. Let's do it. Like, no, like, God, it's just, I would feel so scummy. I don't know how else to say it. Like, such a shitbag. I don't know. Anyway,
as someone who's been on the opposite end of it, they really don't feel like shitbags.
No, they don't. Yeah, no, they don't. I've also been on the opposite end of it twice. Been on the opposite end of it twice.
How did we get here in this podcast right now?
Oh, Jesus. I asked, why do you lie?
Like, holy shit, man. I thought we were trying to be funny and entertaining, and you're like, why do we lie? Tell me, Bruce.
We're all going to die.
Why do we lie?
Yeah. Well, let's God, I've really brought this down. Let's end on a
really, like, holy shit in the vibes, bro. Like,
let's end on a good note then, okay?
Okay.
What topic do you have?
Oh, I don't have any left. You totally just made me hate everything.
No, these are healthy things to talk about. These are healthy things to talk about.
I think this podcast is fine to talk about that stuff. We'll have a little bit of wrap up and it's only episode 2 of this podcast. We have no idea where this is going still.
That's fair.
I almost feel like our if we were going to do a podcast, I feel like they'd go to these places because we're going to start happy and like we're gonna have topics, then we're gonna get a little punch drunk, tangenty, and then you and me, we've known each other long enough that we go into these topics.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And that probably is, once we go into one of the topics, kind of the sign of like, all right, guys, time to like, let's wrap that up this time. Because like, I think without getting anything, why I became a little like, I got a little cagey when you brought it up. Obviously, sure. I had, we both have rough experiences.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is not a bad thing to think about these things. It's not a bad thing to try and understand these things.
Why do we lie, Bruce?
Why do we lie, Bruce? But it's just
could that be the title of this podcast?
Why do we lie?
Why do we lie, Bruce?
Why do we lie, Bruce? And it's just something it's just something that you think about, and it's good to discuss, these types of things that, I guess one of the things that I think we should use, this to demonstrate is that talking about rough things is something that we should normalize. It's a weird thing to say, but like talking about things that make people uncomfortable, such as these types of situations or this type of topic, we should normalize that because it could help people. Someone who
the idea soup.
Yeah, there you go.
Jodo's uncomfy topics there.
Well, I mean, let's think about it. Someone who may be struggling with a situation that they don't necessarily know how to bring up, or something. It's just being able to openly talk about a situation that I know that
uncomfortable topic time.
Wow, that's actually a good name for it. But being able to talk about a topic that not necessarily is talked about every day and may affect some people, that itself could lead to a catalyst of maybe people thinking it's okay to bring that up with their friends, their family, and maybe open a dialogue where they wouldn't, because, you know, hey, we're all human, we got to talk about stuff, and if you don't talk about things, it really messes you up. So, you know, we just decided to broadcast what we talked about onto a podcast, and yeah, sorry about that.
You know, and I think I have an idea, by the way, for post show stuff. Since
Yeah,
I'm gonna call this the end.
Yeah, I think so.
I have an idea for post show stuff. We're gonna do stuff like that later, but we're gonna talk about that on the post show. My ideas. This is, I think, for at least the next couple episodes or post shows, we'll be talking about ideas and stuff for the main podcast, and maybe having a little bit more interaction with people who are here live. But anyway, that's been the You Don't Have to Be Right podcast episode 2, full of tangents and jabbing at each other, and you know, some more serious talk at the end there. Thank you for watching. This podcast can be found at YouTube, Spotify, probably where you're listening to it now, or live every Tuesday at our Discord.
Yes, every Tuesday in our Discord. We will be doing this at 11 a.m.
Yep, not a lot of interactions with chat during the main podcast, but I think we'll have some more.
Yeah, I think the post show is yeah. Anyway, well, thank you everybody for listening in, and from us over here, you don't have to be right, but Jesus Christ.
Please try.
Please try.